Hi there, Theresa here from theresamonro.com, and I am here to talk about your 2017 energy wrap-up and the energy for going into 2018, which is mostly some January energy, but gosh, it seems to be flowing like a river. It's really interesting. It doesn't feel like it normally does, where there's that divide between the years. And I guess part of it is because this energy is really going into, early parts of March. So what we're going to talk about here are the energies, and then at the end I'm going to add some couple of different cards, and one of them is a little deck that I've used that tells you what ray of light you're working with. It's handmade. There's another one that is the Keepers of the Light deck by Kyle Gray, and that one tells you what being of light it is that's assisting you currently for the month. So I just thought it'd be fun. It was a really neat suggestion that came in from a few different people, and I just want to say thank you, because I kind of miss the cards. I don't miss doing them every 3 days. That was a lot of pressure to do that, and a lot of energy, kind of output. So anyway, I just feel like it's a more even exchange this way, and it's more fun to still get to play with the cards. By the way, I wanted to mention, if you are interested, you can get a little mini reading for knowing what beings of light are working with you personally. So that's a lot of fun. So getting back into it, it's interesting getting into 2018 because we have a period of time that is just full steam ahead all the way into March 8th. We have every single planet is moving forward, and it is part of the reason why you might be picking up on some momentum, and part of the reason why people were feeling as early as October. Even some people really felt it in August and took action in September. Some people started to really feel the pressure in early October, definitely by late October, that it was time for things to really shift. And some people were like, man, I'm so antsy, I can just feel this stuff moving, and but it's not here yet. And a lot of that has happened. For certain people, it happened like end of October, beginning of November, where people really had to take action. Definitely, if you remember my November energy update, it's interesting looking back, because they said, well, you've got through like the first week of December, otherwise things are like wrapped up in terms of making some shifts. I didn't know that was gonna affect my life personally or other people personally in terms of how that was going to work, and watching that play out. So that was a really interesting thing. But it's interesting too, because to watch things really shift in terms of, well, one door closes, another door opens. If one person makes a choice not to interact in a certain way, then somebody else steps up for that place. So it's like, if that is happening, you don't have to feel sad about somebody not stepping forward or something not stepping forward, because there's something else that is possibly even better that's been right around the corner. So with a lot of these phases and cycles wrapping up for 2017, it's been interesting now, because it's like we've got the floodgates for moving forward in these times of complete potential and doing things that we really, really love. Because at the end of 2016, that's interesting that they're stating that. I guess it's true if I said it, but really at the end of 2017, it was August 21st was the particle convergence, and then December 21st was a particle emergence. So that was that period of time where there was a lot of light coming onto the planet, a lot of cycles closing, and this is really big for putting us on a totally separate timeline for humanity that as a whole has a lot less suffering in it. And so, I mean, we can change our particular trajectory at any given time, but not to this particular degree, because this also involved the other, areas of the universe that were affected by us raising our frequency so much, by such a large degree. And each person is affected individually in a different way in terms of how much. There's a video on that, a couple different videos, I think, that you can go back and watch the exact details if you'd like. And so that one's talking about the particle emergence and the particle convergence. So since the convergence, it's been really, really interesting watching us all shift into what our new situations are and where we're stepping forward, because there's 2018 here and it's like, holy smokes, there's so much going on. And you can really start to formulate and see the things coming into the picture in terms of they want to talk about commitments quite a bit in, romantic ones and ones to yourself. Commitments to yourself are huge. Commitments to where it is you want to go, commitment to new ways of being, commitments to a new business, commitments to things that are going to bring you a lot more joy. So, which is the second ray of light, by the way, is illumination and joy, which is yellow. And it's interesting seeing that being a very supportive ray of light right now for humanity. It's sort of like a spotlight, like, here you go, this is where we're headed, versus, that light was a little dimmer before, especially with what they're calling the squeeze between August and the end of December. So this is 2018 is really great because 2017 really set the foundations for where we're headed for a 9-year cycle. For the end of 2017 is like the beginning of a whole new 3-year cycle. We've got a 1-year cycle going. It's quite a lot going on. Now with those next 3-year cycles, that's implementing and affecting people in all different ways. Some people it's communication, some people it's in the home, some people it's in love relationships, some, is where, depending on where your greatest source of growth is going to be. So it's interesting stuff. Something that I'm going to put in the membership group that I have created is a group of videos, or possibly one video, in terms of how this new 3-year cycle is affecting you and where the area of growth is and how you can use it for your best potential. Because I guarantee you, within the last month, like since the beginning of December, you've really seen some of that new potential step forward. Some of you saw it as early as October, but really within December, you most likely saw the most potential with those particular areas and shifts. And boy, mine showed up in really kind of fun ways that are exciting. I didn't realize how much it was going to feel good to have that 3-year cycle end. And I think that's part of what some of you were picking up on as well, is what was closing and what was shifting and what is this cycle and why am I feeling this pressure of newness? Because we're all like, yeah, bye-bye old suffering timelines. Hello, new fun timelines. There's still lessons and things involved, but it's areas that are far less detrimental. So a whole lot of karma got moved out of the way, which is why I really recommend doing like the Violet Flame decrees and doing Violet Flame work. It's something super simple that takes just a few minutes. There's a couple different meditations I personally like to use that just take 30 seconds. So I'm like, oh, you just feel so much better, and it can, wipe the slate clean, they say, and it gets some of the emotions out of the way. It just shifts things so fast. It's why I love the rays of light and the different things that they do. And, but it's cool. Oh yeah. I don't know if I mentioned it yet. Sometimes the rays come through and you get all, it out of body, a little bit difficult to think straight. But for those of you that wrote in and gave the feedback on what it is you would like to see moving forward for content, thank you so much. And if you'd like to add more ideas, please feel free to add that below. But yeah, let's see what else we're going into here. So a lot of those times we were touching base on are shifting right now in terms of I'm sensing that there's some of you that have a voice. It's funny how sometimes this will come up, but some of you have a voice, things that you want to say. And it's really in terms of your needs, in terms of your truth, in terms of like a YouTube channel, in terms of all kinds of things. You've done some of the preliminary work about how you're voicing things and coming up with that, but it's also your voice and getting used to that is part of how you're moving forward. Some of you, I really feel like, have a business that you want to start. Now is the perfect time forward for that, because we have all this forward movement with the planets going on for the next like 2.5 months. So it's a great time for that. Everything is supporting you. A lot of these ideas you've had in the back of your head. There was one particular thought that I had that's it's happening for me as well, where it was something small and heartfelt, and I didn't expect it to be coming, online, and little things that I'm seeing. Oh yeah, I remember when I really wanted that, and it just didn't cross my mind, but here we are, and it's crossing my path. So some of that, watch out for that for you too, because I guarantee that's happening for you, where you're going, wow, that's really cool. I remember thinking that a long time ago, but I didn't know that this would be possible now, and it's something that's crossing your path at this particular moment. If it's even just a thought, it's something that's coming to you for a reason. If you're having a second guesses about, well, can it go anywhere or anything like that, something that I particularly can do is help you with what is going to be moving forward. But if the idea has, or, ways to shape that, but I guarantee you this, if you're having this idea and you're going, wow, I'm really thinking about, I've been working construction for a long time. I've been this great foreman, and I really want to create my own business doing that, because I see myself as a great leader. People like me. I'm well respected. I'm humble. If that's something that you're resonating with, I guarantee you it's going to be successful. If you've got any kind of doubts around that, that's sometimes just the story of the past. Other times, intuitively, you're going to know that there's some speed bumps that to watch out for. That's when it's a really good time to sit back and go, okay, how could I, prepare for that if that were to happen, or that sort of thing. Because normally that's either an old story or it's something that's possibly picking up on the future, and you're intuitive enough to be able to tell that. But if you're not, there are people out there that can assist you with that, to be able to move through it and to prepare for it. Some of you have already started new relationships and have recently gotten a commitment. Congratulations to you. Some of you are wanting new relationships, and that is something that you can have as well. That is something else that's stepping forward. New ways of approaching life and relationships, it's definitely true. If, say, for some of you in the collective have been fixated on in which they use that word on purpose, on a particular human, it's more shifting of focus to, having love, so that, there's certain opportunities that are seen coming forward towards you. Because sometimes if we're focused in one particular area, we'll have blinders to other other opportunities. So that's just something they want to say. If you may be seeing yourself in a new relationship going, oh God, what? And it's the same thing. So I guess the same sort of pattern where you're going, well, there's this story of the past where all this stuff happened, and we've got the future and the potential of where it is that we can go. How can we, is that going to happen in the future? Now's a really great time for these potentials, guys. So go forward with it. Go forward. Get some help for some of the fears. Get some help for some of the patterns you're afraid of. Because I guarantee you're in alignment with certain people around you that can assist you. And sometimes it's your partner that, especially if it's a new partner, that's able to step into new ways of being and new ways of approaching life within a relationship. It's something worth mentioning. It's very much so worth vocalizing these things, because I feel like there's been some blocks around that area, around speaking up to someone hey, this has been my truth and my pattern for the X amount of time. I'm afraid of that coming up again. And I just want to let you know. It's really great to take a few moments. If you feel like you can do this, you're at a point to do this, to say, hey, I would like to sit down and have a discussion about, here's where my fears are, here's where my vulnerabilities are. And it's interesting because likely they're going to be looking at you going, okay, I can understand how you're experiencing that, but really, I don't see that with you. I adore something. Something I personally bumped into was something that somebody was sensitive about, and I'm like, but I actually like that about you. So sometimes there can be healing within relationships like this, where you're going, okay, this is, a new way of thinking is entering. So there's a strengthening within the collective happening, particularly around those that have had traumas and relationships that didn't suit well, or didn't go well, and had old patterns and things like that. And there's new ways of thinking in terms of security and faith within foundations, because I pulled a card for the collective, and it was faith, and it was just about seeing the light and everything, and about if you've had doubt, she's assisting with this particular, she's saying chained thinking. So the thinking is shifting for you. And even if it's not in romantic relationships, and sometimes it really is, it'll cross all areas. There'll also be the situations where even like, say you've got thoughts around businesses and whether or not it'll be successful because you've put out a bunch of content and it wasn't right, or however, it could have just been the wrong audience. It could have just been it could have been the right product at the right time, but a certain other situation going on. So you could have this thought pattern, oh, it'll never do well. Well, you're going to have some people in your life at that point, and probably right now where you've got somebody who doesn't waver in their thoughts, who's like, no, they're just showing me this strength in thought. So those of you that are kind of wavering in your thoughts, you've got some people around you where you're going, oh my gosh, they inspire me so much. That is where I want to be. Their way of thinking, talk to them about their way of thinking, because you can feel a certain strength there. They're like a pillar. And some of those women and men are holding space for other people that are wanting to build a business of their own. So this is usually business related, relationship related, all of these shifts in terms of an internal strength about, yes, I get to have these things with a great prosperous business. Yes, I get to have a great prosperous relationship, because sometimes it's just old patterns washing out, and we're seeing the shifts in patterns of thinking before we're able to go like full steam ahead. So you'll see some of these things approaching. The one thing they say is, please don't shut it down. Please don't shut down the ideas. Please remain open as much as you can, because when you're open, even if you're scared, and that's totally okay, but if you can get open and do the activities that get you open more quickly, you will be likely to be seeing the opportunities ahead and the opportunities that are coming towards you. Even if you're afraid, they're stating do it. It's all about how you move through the fear, because the greatest piece of advice that I think was ever given to me about like having a channel or using my voice or anything like that, particularly with video, and it was something I was so afraid of, was to think about the fear and just move through it. Because there were a couple of people I knew who were doing these really great things on video, and I said, oh my gosh, they make it look so easy, forgetting that they've been doing it for a number of years. But when each of them explained to me, it was about, you feel the fear, but you just do it anyway. It's about how you move through the fear. You don't wait for the fear to dissipate, because I was thinking, wow, I've got to do all this healing to get the fear to go away. But and I'll tell you this, if you're able to just move through the fear and do it anyway, it's going to change your patterning as well. So when you get into, like now, there's still nervousness sometimes, but for different reasons around creating certain videos. There's much more confidence in other areas. Now it's my absolute favorite platform, because I've got the gift of gab. So as you notice, like things can get a little wordy sometimes. But this particular area, so when you move through the fear like that, it's going to affect the rest of the other areas where you have fear. So like when I went jumping off some cliffs at these falls over here, there was still fear, whereas before I wouldn't have done it, but I approached it in the same way as when I had done my videos, and it was so ingrained in me in a new way that I didn't even process it. There was somebody that was swimming actually that said, wow, you process that fear so fast. And that's when it clicked for me that wow, things really have shifted in the way I would not have necessarily given myself credit for that. So there are always opportunities for giving yourself more credit, by the way, for some of you. So, but they want to talk about that. So when you have the fear of, around a new relationship, and because you've got the new thinking going on, and you have these new people in your life, and it's like, can I keep it together here? Am I going to screw this up? What could possibly go wrong? Some of that stuff's going to come up. Now, the rays of light help calm all that. You can call on the second ray of light to which is yellow, helps soothe some of that thinking. The 30 days of healing help with that as well. But as you watch the new actions that you're taking, and you move through the fear anyway, and you start this new business, and you have that conversation with, say, your best friend's dad, and say, hey, I'm going out on my own and doing this. I would love to have your support. So at least you've had that conversation, even no matter what. And you can even sit and have the envisioning process of how that conversation will go, and envision it being a positive outcome. This is also a practice you could start doing every day for how you see your day going. And it gives you a little bit more control, and you just let it go and say, okay, I want to see this, and this person approaches me about a really wonderful opportunity to go read cards somewhere on the island, or a party, and they want an intuitive present, like that sort of stuff you can think about. And they're talking about shoe salesmen. If somebody is selling shoes here and they're just sitting here going, wow, all these women come and they're asking me about the most beautiful, shoes. They're showing me Jessica Simpson heels and Louboutin heels as well, the ones with the red bottoms, which are rather famous. So there's some of you wanting those shoes, and there's some of you that are selling those shoes. You can have all of it, by the way, but the way to envision it is, if you're wanting those particular shoes, you can just see yourself trying them on, envisioning, and they're like a one-day flash sale where they're 75% off for the next hour, or something ridiculous. So when you walk into the store and you get this little an idea of, wow, go in there and just go try on the shoes, you got two choices. You can ignore that and go, well, I just that isn't affordable, and who goes window shopping, and it's not fun, it just reminds me I can't have them. Or the person that actually follows that little idea that's super quiet and set, and you go try them on, and the guy's like, they look great on your feet, and like, it's just something magical can end up happening in those little moments where you listen. So just want to give that advice. I hope that is particularly helpful. And so now is the time for a lot of you to be the leader in your own life in these ways, in terms of, and you're seeing like these people around you, they're also talking about our leaders in terms of, if you're not sure where to go, find somebody. I guarantee you there is somebody that you find inspiring in your field that could take you to the next level, and say, hey, have you ever considered mentoring? Because I find you really inspiring, and I would like to expand and think like you do. Can we talk? Could you talk to me about how you think? Can you talk to me about what it is you do differently? Because I feel like I could grow by knowing you. If you put it that way and it's heartfelt and you say that sort of thing, most of the time they're going to respond, or they're going to offer you like, hey, there's this sort of class. And if not, at least you've put out to the universe and said, like, well, the universe is just saying, yeah, of course you're going to end up getting some sort of, response. And this could be a really healing situation for them too, stepping into a different leadership role where they may not know that because people that are leading businesses, because we're talking a lot about relationships in business right now, but sometimes there are people that may not realize that other people are finding them inspiring. So if they're having like a tough time, or they've got a new cycle around the corner as well, your words may be exactly what they need to hear that day. Whether or not they respond, it doesn't really matter. But inspiration versus competition is just a little bit different. And even if you're feeling competitive, they're stating, go to them and state like, okay, you're doing something different. And this could really be an expansive sort of situation for you as well. They're talking about those of you in relationships that felt like that you've had to compromise in 2017. And you may have decided like, no, I'm not compromising in those areas. I'm not compromising in what I want and who I want to be with and who I want to work around and who my clientele are, what kind of money I'm going to make. Those sorts of things where you felt like it was a real crunch in 2017 and having to compromise. In 2018, these higher timelines, you're not having to do that. It's very easy to just go, wait a minute, I can do better than that. I can have better than that. And I'm going to do better than that. So, and that's, you know, that's a choice that you can make if it's really heartfelt and you're going, I think I'm done with that. I don't need to be dealing with somebody who has, you know, a third party, you know, be it business or personal. And yeah, I get to have all the attention there. You know, those sorts of things are something. But this is definitely a time to be proactive. They want to remind you with these opportunities. A lot of you have already seen them come forward. Congratulations to those of you that have said yes. And that has multiple meanings. So, and for those of you that have said yes, but you're feeling scared, congratulations to you too in doing it anyway. And it's not too late. So you could always turn the boat around. if you felt like you've kind of passed something up and you're going, oh God, I got scared and said that wasn't a good idea, and now I'm coming back around to that. For some of you, there are doors that are still open for that, if that's something. So interesting how we've got the full moon that's on the 1st. Some of you, it's energy carrying into the 2nd of January. I think it's really, really lovely to further look at a little bit more in detail about closing the door on what's not serving us and opening the door on what is. What do you find sustaining? What do you find fulfilling? These sorts of things. So let's see. So we're much more conscious about where we're placing our energy, you know, what is draining, what's energizing. What's energizing is obviously the place intuitively where you want to place this sort of things. There's a lot more adventure and confidence I see in women now. Even feminine men that are men carrying the feminine aspect. There's a lot more confidence in general. Men, I feel like, are coming online in terms of that as well. Well, I guess kind of the whole collective. But anyway, there's this shift and there's different, you know, pieces as to where people are with that. So let's see what's happening here. So we have, okay, so now we're going to get into the cards. So I'm going to pull first from the card for my particular situation with the rays of light. Now, because of the way that this is filmed, it's going to cut off at 30 minutes. So I'm going to press a stop, transition, and then come right back and let you know what the cards are and finish up. So I'll be right back. So now we're back. So what I have are these cards that have the rays of light on them, and then it shows the beings of light of that ray that are assisting you, because each ray of light has, because this is, for those of you that don't know, it's the rays of light I have been working with since I was a child. It is this light, you push its source energy, and when it goes through a prism, it then separates into the different colors of the rays of light, and there are 12 that we have access to here currently as of 2014. And so I talk about those rays quite a lot of light. And so let's see, you can use them for healing, and they all have archangels assigned and ascended masters assigned and different godlike attributes and lessons and things like that. So one of the cards that came up is the violet ray. So this is the 7th ray of light. It's a little bit more pink than this color. The archangels assigned are Zadkiel and Amethyst. We also have the Ascended Master Saint Germain here. He is overlighting all Aquarians, by the way, and so to include the age of Aquarius. So assisting all Aquarians with quite a few things. This ray of light assists with freedom, forgiveness, ascension, transmutation, karmic law, mercy, all of that sort of fun stuff. So going forward, that is a ray that is also assisting. Let's see if there's one particularly just for January, because you can heal a lot with that particular ray. And so when I say that he assists Aquarians and the age of Aquarius, now, by the way, that's everybody that he's assisting for 2018 and beyond, actually, through the entire age of Aquarius. But when I say that, he's not a particular spirit guide. He's just as a group of people who have chosen the sun sign Aquarius. And then also partially assists those that have like Aquarius in their charts. There'll be certain aspects that he'll assist with that. So he's stating it would be very helpful in those particular areas to use the violet flame for healing. So you can Google violet flame meditations, or you can check out the violet flame decrees that are on my website if you'd like. So let's see who's assisting for January, because it looks like Saint Germain and the violet flame are for all of 2018. I guess it said 2017 as well. I guess it's really interesting at this point because it's like 2017 and 2018. Sometimes your intention is to say 2018 and 2017 will come through, and then like, okay, great, it's for both years. So this is what is assisting everybody for the month of January. The 10th ray of light is white with gold specks within it. And the archangels assigned are Nathaniel and his counterpart Grazia, which means grace. And they are representatives of the great central sun, which is where source energy originates. This is a ray that provides miracles. It's all about Horoline alignment. So those that are part of my memberships will have access to certain courses or discounts of certain courses and webinars, and one of which is Horoline alignment. So this is one of the colors that comes down through your heart line. Your heart line is what some people call the pillar of light. It's what connects you directly from source, which is the great central sun. That white pillar that comes all the way down aligns the entire chakra column and connects you down into the center of the earth. So doing that level of work on top of violet flame work is some of the foundational stuff that I tend to work with that'll shift anything. The heart line, when it's aligned and you do that work every day for like 2 minutes, sometimes there's ways to do it in as little as like 30 seconds. When you do that, all kinds of miracles happen. The people that you're around are happier. So it's one of their messages that they say, by the way, is to see the light in your life. So if you... that's why I think that this is a really good card for January, is that they're mentioning you're going to see the light in January. It's very light filled, which is why they were mentioning there was this second ray of light and a lot of yellow light coming in for January, so that you see all the potentials and all the really wonderful things that are coming through. You may see some of this shifting and more and more really foundational stuff for 2018 coming in through like the beginning of March, because like 2017 was foundational and we're building upon that in 2018. This is a year where it's a lot more stability coming online. If you see changes, it's because you've got stability coming in. The changes are creating stability. So if you wished for something like a really beautiful home, you may have a shakeup in your house to where, or your business, or make a move or something like that to have the house that you want, or the piece of land that you want, or you may have this opportunity to buy a house all of a sudden that comes out of nowhere. Like here, they're stating, if anybody's local that's watching this, there may be somebody who's moving out of a house and wants to sell it immediately, and you're like, well, I don't know if I have the funds. I have a guaranteed veterans loan, but I don't know. Well, take the opportunity, because it's something that you've been looking for in terms of peace and stability. So for some of you, that's going to include building a new house if you want. And yeah, there's a lot of, if you've been thinking about investing in real estate, this is a good time for that. So yeah, you've got the support of source energy and the 10th ray of light and the great central sun, and aligning your heart line for some of you that have already taken that particular course. Now's a good time to remind yourself through calendar reminders, maybe at night or before they're stating before bed, it'll be really good for you. Also the beginning of the day, but it'll help you sleep better and feel more peaceful, and your dreams will be different. And when you start working with this stuff, you obviously start to have access to all the different angelics. So let's see. Oh, yeah. So with these shifts, if you find that it's something that's at all turbulent for you, there are things that are available to assist you. Of course, use the tools that work for you. There's angel blessings that work. Those are really, really affordable. And since offering them live, people are having all kinds of really lasting effects. It's sort of skeptical looking at it going, one, how does that work? Two, how's that only $11 and it works? Three, okay, that worked and that's really weird. So there's a video on that if you want to know more about how the angel blessings work and what they're for. Because some people were like, I kind of don't get it. Doesn't everybody offer blessings? Well, they're a little bit different. I just call them blessings because that's what they mentioned calling them. There's 30 Days of Light. That is something that could possibly assist you. Also, something really exciting is there's a group healing session that's happening within the membership. If you purchase a membership, that is something that is going to be held, let's see, January 7th. We're going to join on Zoom, and unless we all decide there's a better platform. And yeah, it's part of the monthly memberships, and then other random videos are going to be provided as well. And right now it's going to be on my website. But something really exciting is to be talking about the new cycle of what it is you're going to be working on for the next 3 years, and ways to be able to move through that, and things that will support you, like simple tools like place your focus here, or here's your opportunity here. When you see this pattern come up or this person approach, you'll know how to handle it, and so that it can bring in it's a new wave for foundation over the next couple of years. So I'm really looking forward to 2018's energy of bringing in stability, and because we set the foundation, and now it's like balance and harmony and things like that. And it's a great way to be starting 2018 with this full moon going, okay, we're closing the door on this and literally opening the door on that. It's perfect timing for, the harmonic convergence and emergence periods for literally starting the new, closing the door on the old timelines. It's really good stuff. And that timeline shifting, by the way, is not totally like black and white, meaning for some situations it is, but typically there's a transition period. And so some of you are like, well, it didn't just happen in one day, it happened 2 months ago. Well, that's fine, because there's like a fade, they're stating fade to black, like it or fade to light, that sort of thing. So let's get into your other card. So this is the Keeper of the Light deck that's for you, and this actually has ended up being a lot longer video than I thought it was going to be, but I really hope you like it. It's feeling good to film it. I knew he was going to come out. Usually it's archangels and ascended masters, but we have Commander Ashtar. Call to action. Now he represents the blue ray of light, which is, the divine masculine, divine will, boundaries, self-love. It's like a tree that branches out, but it's a reminder, like, okay, you've got these ideas, please step forward with them. Take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. So how does this card wrap everything up, right? It's the same thing I was stating. Take charge. It's time to lead yourself down this path. Take action where it is that you want to go, letting you know that you have the support here of the blue ray of light that's going to be assisting you with leadership. And I'm not talking about necessarily bossing other people around, but maybe it is for you in the way that that's communicated, but also walking your talk. So if you're bossing people around, it's sometimes that will be applicable for you as well. But also we were talking about like clearing this area and speaking your truth. So, and then interesting, right up underneath that is Kutumi from the second ray of light, Cloak of Wisdom. And you already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. I don't usually look at the bottom of decks of stuff, but he came forward and he has specifically mentioned it is safe to trust yourself. It is safe to trust the guidance that you're receiving. It is safe to trust and have faith in this new beginning that's come your way. And by the way, they do want to say this. If you've got, say, like a love relationship and you're going, man, I really liked that girl, and then I told her that I don't know, I kind of abandoned the situation because of the thoughts coming up. Like, just be honest if you decide to go back. January's a good time for doing that, and go back and state, hey, this is kind of what happened for me, and these are my patterns. And you might be surprised to see that person wants to talk about it, but they're stating, trust what you know, trust that inner wisdom. And again, confirmation of the second ray of light that's yellow assisting. So let me see. Oh, also for those of you that want to go through for the next 12 months, I am having the activations, which is, there's 12 rays. Each month there's one activation. So we're going to be meeting once a month online. This is separate from the memberships. I don't know if it's going to be included but with the membership just yet. Possibly. We could just make it easy. But for some of you that want to purchase it separately, you can, to be a part of a separate Zoom call where I talk about the first ray of light in January, and then bring you through a healing meditation or activation that resets all those lessons. And it's a great healing experience where only that ray of light comes through, and those beings of light are with you for that whole entire month. So the second ray is in February, third ray is in March, and 12th ray in December. You see how it works. So this is a little bit different from the course. The full course gives all the information associated, but these will be just the monthly energy activations. And but if you want it in 12 days, there's an option for that. That's on the website too. But it's super exciting stuff. If you're on island, every Thursday I have an in-person, I have the in-person healing meditation group that's by donation. Then that's for in-person. And then there's every Thursday, there's the one-to-ones in person as well if you're located here on the island of Kauai. And let's see. Oh, the last thing that I want to mention is, if you're still paying attention, for those that sign up for the newsletter in the month of January, or comment, and say something positive down below, or that share, my video. And if you do share, make sure that you comment shared in the comments section, whether you're watching this on YouTube or another platform. I will put you in a drawing for the month of January, and I may start doing this monthly to enter to provide you with a free one-on-one manifestation session. Part of how that is working is storytelling is changing, and healing is changing. And so Saint Germain specifically has mentioned a lot of the old way of healing, which still works for some, is to label what's wrong. And some people are incorrectly labeling things and then feeling really bad about it, so it can be really disempowering. He says the more empowering way is to focus on where it is that we want to go, which is why these manifestation sessions bring in the rays of light that you want to work with, on top of paying attention to what it is that you're wanting. And then I will go through and help change the wording for you if any of it is off. So that's the new form of healing, is just telling a new story. And some of you are like, is it really that easy? And some of us are having that reaction because it's been so heavy for so long. So doing a lot of that shadow work can have a lighter aspect to it by shifting some of the focus onto, and it'll shift your thinking by doing this, by doing that more sort of in a different way, one-on-one. So for those of you that already know how to work with the rays of light, you will see that as a particular option. But yeah, that's one session that you'll get with me if you leave a positive comment below, or you get, or if you sign up for the newsletter, which you sign up via my website at the bottom of the page. So, but yeah, the memberships are going live now. This is the first video that's going in, and then followed by another video that talks about all the particular signs and what it is you're working on for the next 3 years going forward. So it's really exciting stuff. I'm wishing you lots and lots and lots and lots of love and exciting, happy January 2018 and beyond. So thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, remember to like and subscribe if it's something that you like, and to share with somebody that you feel like might find this empowering. All right? Lots of love. Bye.